Hey guys, it's Michaela with Orlando Informer. We're about to head into the wizarding world of Harry Potter and try all 6 different types of butterbeer. Let's head to Diagon Alley and get started. Alright, we're about to try soft serve butterbeer ice cream, naturally in Diagon Alley. Where else do you go except for Florian Fortescue's ice cream parlor? Now elsewhere you can find hard pack versions of the ice cream available, but here at Florian's in Diagon Alley you can just try the soft serve. So I've actually never had it before, so I'm excited to give it a try. Alright, so one thing I want to note is how cool the coloring is. You have these kind of like brown edges and the white middle, which I think combines it's butterscotch and vanilla flavoring. So I've heard that this is one of the kind of less sweet iterations, just because there is that balance between vanilla and butterbeer. And let's give it a try. This is awesome. So if you've ever talked to me about butterbeer, you know that the frozen butterbeer is a little bit too sweet for me. But like I said, with that vanilla balance in here, it is perfect. If you want to taste what butterbeer tastes like but aren't too much of a like sweet fanatic, I think this is a good balance for you. Alright, we're over at Sugar Plum Sweet Shop in Diagon Alley, because where else do you get your fix of Butterbeer Fudge? Again, this is my first time trying this, so I'm really excited. And on our Butterbeer Sweetness Index, we actually rank this as the sweetest form of butterbeer. So I'm pretty nervous but excited to give it a try. I have a feeling it's gonna be super rich. Oh my god. I took way too big of a bite. It's so thick and rich. It almost has a white chocolate taste to it. And then of course that butterscotch flavoring. And obviously it's really hard to chew. I can't chew fast enough to talk about it. But it's not as horribly sweet as I imagined. And as you can see, it's the 2 layers. So again, there's a little bit of a dual flavoring, so that way it's not too intensely sweet of that butterbeer flavor concentration that you get in like the frozen or cold butterbeer. So I say you split this with your family. I think it'd be a lot on a hot day to eat a whole chunk of this by yourself, but man, does that bite taste good. Next stop on our tour to butterbeer is the original cold butterbeer, and you guys know it, we all love it. There's this nice frothy topping on it, so that's kind of what makes it special, and the rest is just kind of like a bubbly butterscotch cream soda. So let's give it a try. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I originally wasn't a huge fan of cold butterbeer, but it's awesome. It truly does just taste like kind of amplified cream soda, and it's exactly how you'd imagine it when you're reading the books or watching the movies. Okay, it's time to cross the last item off of my butterbeer bucket list. We have the potted cream. Something I think is really cool about this is that the potted cream is actually a traditional English dessert. So not only is it immersing you just in Harry Potter, but also in kind of the geographical location of the story overall. You'll see it has like a puddingy type texture, but really thick and creamy. The hype is real. I really believe it. It has almost a more subtle flavor, which I like. And I know this is a big favorite for many. I think it has my favorite flavor of butterbeer because the flavor kind of differentiates a little bit. So this is really good. Okay, so new discovery. You can see down here, there's like almost a sauce, like a butterscotch sauce that if you dig deep enough, you can mix it in and that's the key. You gotta do it. Now we're gonna give the frozen butterbeer a try, and it kind of has a slushy-like consistency on the bottom, and then like the cold butterbeer, it has the creamy froth on the top. It's a whipped topping, which is honestly my favorite part of any butterbeer drink. And this one in particular, as far as the butterbeer beverages go, I think this is the sweetest. So if you have a sweet tooth, this is the way to go. Frozen butterbeer is awesome. It's perfect for the weather here, and it tastes really similar to the cold butterbeer. Again, just a little bit thicker consistency, icier consistency, which for me helps it to last a little bit longer and definitely cools you down. Even though it's summer, we can't talk butterbeer without mentioning hot butterbeer. So the downside is that it's only available seasonally, but that's okay because you probably wouldn't super enjoy having a hot beverage in the middle of summer in Orlando. The good news is that most of the Orlando Informer team considers this their favorite butterbeer. It's almost like a hot white chocolate drink infused with butterscotch syrup. And so it just makes it so creamy and perfect on a cool night in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Thanks for joining us today as we visited Diagon Alley and went over all 6 forms of butterbeer that you can try in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Whether it's potted cream, fudge, ice cream, hot, cold, or frozen, you really can't go wrong. It's one of the coolest ways they've brought the Wizarding World of Harry Potter to life, and it tastes delicious, so no complaints here. I hope you guys have enjoyed as much as I have. This has been the best day ever for me, and thanks for following along. We'll catch you next time.